Okay. Let us continue with where we stopped. Okay. So the cheerleading squad is made up of 12 girls. So this is a team. Okay. It's a team of 12 girls that are performing cheerleading. And they have a captain and a co-captain. Okay. So this is my R. So my R is 2 because they have 2 positions. Okay. Which are selected at random. What's the probability that Chantel and Clover, here is also another way of me knowing my R is 2. Okay. My R, no, this one looks like a V. My R is 2. Are chosen as leaders. So I want to know first, how many permutations do I have? How many permutations do I have? Okay. So how do I do that? I do that by doing 12p2. So this is my n, this is my r. Then I remember my kanun for permutations, which is n factorial over n minus r factorial. Okay, so this is 12 factorial over 12 minus 2 factorial. Okay, so that becomes 12 factorial over 10 factorial, which becomes 12 times 11 times 10 factorial over 10 factorial. This goes away. I think 12 times 11 should be 132. 12 times 11, yes, 132. So this is my total. 132 is my total permutation. Now I want, what is the probability? Remember, this cannot be probability. Probability cannot be greater than 1. So this is your total. After that, you're going to do probability of picking Chantel and Clover as leaders is the same as saying your R over your total permutation. Okay, which is 2. So your R is 2 and your total permutation is 132. And then you simplify. 2 goes here 1 time, 2 goes here 66. Okay, so your answer is 1 out of 66. That's your answer. Okay, you can leave it as a fraction. You can change it to a decimal. You can also change it to a percent. You have a textbook. Okay, so now how did I know here that this was permutation? Because here order mattered. You needed a captain and a co-captain. So that's how I knew this was a permutation. Okay. You have a textbook for each of the following subjects: Spanish, English, chemistry, geometry, history, psychology. So those are 6 subjects, okay? 6 subjects. If you choose 4 of these, you're choosing 4. So this should be your R, okay? You're choosing this, so this should be your R. At random to arrange on a shelf. What is the probability that the geometry textbook will be fast? That is permutation, because order matters. You said you want geometry fast. So this is permutation. This is a permutation uh, question. From the left, and the chemistry textbook should be second from the left. So it's saying when you're arranging your books on the shelf, she wants geometry first and then chemistry. And then the others, it doesn't matter who follows. But the first two has to be geometry and has to be geometry and chemistry. So now, out of these, so now that I've been told how many I need, I will change my R to 2. Okay? All right. So first find total permutation. So total permutations, which means Kanun says this should be N and this should be R. So this is how many things we have all together. So that's your N. So uh, this is 6 and this is 2. So then you write your Kanun N factorial over N minus R factorial. Now, N factorial is 6 factorial. And then here you're going to do 6 minus 2 factorial. What does that mean? 6 factorial over 4 factorial. What does this mean? 6 times 5 times 4 factorial over 4 factorial. 4 factorial goes and you get 30. Now 30 is your total. The question doesn't ask you how many different ways can you arrange. The question is asking you what is the probability. So then you're going to write here probability of picking geometry first and then chemistry is, you're going to do here R factorial over P factorial N factorial over the permutation, like that. Not factorial, just R. You're going to do R taksim, the total, but the total permutation. So your R was how much? Your R was 2. And your total permutation was what? 30. 2 goes here 1 time, 2 goes here 15 times. Your solution should be 1 out of 15. Okay? And then you box your answer. Alfonso and Cordell each bought 1 raffle ticket at the state fair. If 50 tickets were randomly sold, what is the probability that Alfonso got ticket 14 and Cordell got ticket 23? So here there is an order. So I know I'm going to do permutation. Okay. And then I also know that there can only be one choice where Alfonso gets ticket 14 and Cordell gets ticket 23. There's only one of that. Okay, so first I need to find total permutations. And I will find that by doing my total, which is 50. So this is N, This is R, this is 50, and this is 2 for the R. So let's do that part first. I should get n factorial over n minus r factorial. N factorial is 50 factorial over 50 minus 2 factorial. That is 50 factorial over 48 factorial. And this is 50 times 49 times 48 factorial over 48 factorial. This goes away. If I multiply 50 with 49, I should get 2,450. Okay, then this combination, I don't want to call it a combination. This group is only one of them that can happen because there's only 114 and 123. So this can only happen one time. So the probability of getting Alfonso and Cordell, Alfonso 14 and Cordell 23 is only 1. So the probability will be 1 out of my total, which is 2,450, and I box my answer. Okay? I want to check this one. Why did I do this? You can only arrange geometry and chemistry together. Yes, you can only arrange it one time. You cannot arrange because it's not chemistry and then geometry. It's geometry and lazim geometry and then chemistry. So it cannot be chemistry, geometry, or geometry, chemistry. Lazim, geometry, chemistry. So here, this one can only happen one time. Yes. This one can only happen one time. So this will be 1 out of 30. And you box your answer. Okay. There you go. All right. Let's move on. All right. Nia and Ciro are going to a concert with their high school key club. Okay? If they choose to sit in the row below at random, what's the probability that Ciro will be seated in C11 and Nia will be seated in C12? So this order can only happen one time. Okay? This order can only happen one time. And because it is an order, so this is a permutation. This is a permutation problem. So let me find my total permutation. So total permutations is given by the Kanun NPR. Okay, who is my N? How many seats do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so my N is 12 and my R, there are 2. I'm choosing 2 out of the 12 people. Okay, then I'm going to do the Kanun n factorial over n minus r factorial. N factorial is 12 factorial over 12 minus 2 factorial. That gives me 12 factorial over 10 factorial. So that becomes 12 times 11 times 10 factorial over 10 factorial. This goes away. That gives me 132. So my probability will be, so the probability of getting 0 in seat 11 and getting Naya at seat 12. So this is for 0 and this is for Naya, will be 1 out of 132. Because there's only 1 0 and only 1 naya. So either way, that order can only happen one way. It cannot happen more than one way. So that's the reason why this is 1 here. Okay? Now, what is the probability that a 7-digit number is generated using these digits? And 3 is the number. Okay? Give me 1 second. What is the probability that a 7-digit telephone number generated using the digits 23, 25, 27, and 3? Okay, so all these numbers here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and is the number this one? Okay, so they're saying you have these digits and you want to make this number. This number is only one of it. There is no, you cannot make this number again. Once you've made it, that's it. You cannot make it. So there is only one of it. Okay. But now, here you have to notice there is repetition. 2 is being repeated 3 times. And then 3 is being repeated 2 times. Okay. So, how are you going to find your total permutations? So, your total permutations will be total permutations. So, first, you always have to find your total permutation. Total permutations will be n factorial over r factorial, r1 factorial, r2 factorial, like that. Okay? Now, so your n is who? Your n is 7. Your r1 is the first rakam that is being repeated, which is being repeated 3 times. Your r2 is the second rakam that is being repeated, and that is being repeated 2 times. So 7 factorial over 3 factorial multiplied by 2 factorial. So you're going to write 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 3 times 2 times 1 times 2 times 1. Now, this 2 times 1 will go with this 2 times 1. This 3 will go with this 3. This 2 will go with 4 to become 2, like that. So you are left with 7 times 6 and 5 times 2. 7 times 6 is 42. 5 times 2 is 10. So your total permutations is 420. What does the question want? What is the probability? So then probability will be 1 out of 420, because this number can only happen one time. It cannot happen more than one time. Okay? At a store randomly assigns their employees work identification numbers to track productivity. Each number consists of 5 digits, very important, ranging from 1 to 9. Okay, so my total should be, let's write our numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those are 9 numbers. Okay, so your n is 9. Okay, if the digits cannot repeat, find the probability that the random generated number is this one. This number can only happen one time. That number can only happen one time. So now let's find our total permutations. Total permutation where n is 9 and your r is 5. So that becomes n factorial over n minus r factorial. N factorial will be 9 factorial, 9 minus 5 factorial. Okay, that becomes 9 over 4 factorial. Okay, now let us do this. 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 factorial over 4 factorial. So this goes away. Now you do that. This is 72. This is okay, this is 30 and then times 7. Okay? This is 210. So what is 72? What is 72 times 210? 72 times 210 will be 15,000 15,120. Okay, now you want to find probability. So probability will be 1 out of 15120. And you box your answer. Why is here 1? Because this number can only happen one time. It cannot happen more than one time. Okay? All right, we move on. In a student council, there is information we've been given about the student council. Okay, what do we know? The table shows the finalists for class president. The order in which they will give their speeches will be chosen randomly. What is the probability that Denny, Kelly, and Chaminade are the first 3 speakers in any order? So that means order does not matter. Okay, now, but the order must have Denny, Kelly, and Chaminade. So they can be Denny, Kelly, and Chaminade. They can be Denny, Chaminade, Kelly. They can be Kelly, Denny, and then Chaminade. Then they can be Kelly, Chaminade, and then Denny. Then they can be Chaminade, Kelly, and then Denny. And then they can be Chaminade, Denny, and then Kelly. So this can happen 3 ways. See that? Okay. All right. When Denny is the leader, when Kelly is the leader, and when Chaminade is the leader. Okay. So these are 3 ways. Okay. Now, so first let's find our total permutations. Okay. So total permutations, which is P, and here you have how many people? 1, 2, 3. So this is N, R, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So here is 7 and then 3. Okay. So Kanun says n factorial over n minus r factorial. N factorial is how much? 7 factorial. 7 minus 3 factorial. This becomes 7 over 4. Each of them have a factorial. 7, 6, 5, 4 factorial over 4 factorial. This goes away. Then you're left here with 30. And 7 times 30 is 210. Okay? So this is 210 total permutation. Okay? Then now I want to do step 2 because the question asked me what is the probability. So that will be, probability will be the three different ways it comes. So 3 factorial over my total, which is 210. That becomes 3 times 2 times 1 over 210, which becomes 6 over 210. When I simplify this, I should get, where's my calculator? 6 divide 210, that should give me 1 out of 35. 1 out of 35. And I box my answer. Okay? Now we're here, we want to solve absolute value equations. I always say, let us predict our answer. So I will do here case 1, case 2. I always start by predicting my solution. So case 1, case 2. X minus 4 equals to 5. X minus 4 equals to negative 5. Plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. This gives me x equals to 9 and x equals to negative 1. So that's where my solution is. So I know this is x, this is 0, this is y, x9, that is there, and x negative 1 is over here. Okay? That's how I start. After that, now I get more points. I draw my jadwal to plot. Now, from jadwal, you have to make this equal to 0. So, absolute value x minus 4 equals to 5. I will subtract 5 on both sides. I will get absolute value x minus 4 minus 5 equals to 0. And this is what now I will put over here. Absolute value x minus 4 minus 5. And this is my y, and this is my x. And I start at negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this one says I should go all the way to 9. Okay? No, it doesn't say I need to. Yes, because here is 9. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, absolute value of negative 6 minus 4 is what? Is negative 10. Absolute value of negative 10 is 10, and 10 minus 5 is 5, like that. Absolute value of negative 5 minus 4 is negative 9. Absolute value cannot be negative, so 9 minus 5 will be 4. Then what do I notice? My numbers are going down by 1, but let me confirm. Negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. Absolute value cannot be negative, so 8 minus 5 is 3. So I continue. 2, 1, 0. How do I know I'm correct? Here. This is x, this is y. How do I know I'm correct? Here is negative 1, 0. You see the point? It's there. Okay, now I do with 0. 0 will be a negative 4. Negative 4 cannot be negative, so 4 minus 5 will be negative 1. Okay, so here my graph is changing. It was all positive and now it's starting becoming negative. Okay, so now let's continue. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Negative 3 cannot, absolute value cannot be negative. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 cannot be absolute value of negative 2 is 2. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. I continue. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Negative 1, then will be 1 minus 5, which is negative 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Okay. 5, that is 1. And then 1 minus 5, that is negative 4. Okay. Then I continue. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 5 is 3. And I'm going to do for 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Then I'm going to do for 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 minus 1 is negative 1. I'm going to do 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, all right, those are enough. So negative 6 with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I go somewhere here. Not somewhere here, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Then negative 5 with 4, there. Then negative 4 with 3, there. I just follow my pattern. See? Okay. 0 is with negative 1, there. 1 is with negative 2 here. 2 is with negative 3 here. 3 is with negative 4 here. 4 is with negative 5 here. Then it changes. So it goes there like that. And I notice it is one box. So I can continue over here. I see the pattern. It is one box diagonally. So I can continue my pattern like that. Okay. With your mascara, please join. Use your mascara to join. So carry a ruler to the exam, okay? Carry a ruler to the exam. And carry a pencil also. Okay, there. That's how your graph should look. Okay, we move on. Same thing here. I do case 1, case 2. So 2x minus 3 equals to 17. 2x minus 3 equals to negative 17. Plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. What do I get? This goes away. 2x equals to 20. This goes away. 2x equals to negative 14. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. X is 10. X is negative 7. Okay? So I go, X is 10. I put my dot. Make sure you label your coordinate plane. Okay? And X is negative 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I put it over there. Okay? All right. Then now I do my jadwal. I need a long place because you need long numbers. So I now know which number to start with. I can start with negative 10 and go all the way to 10. Why? Because my answer, see, the largest number is this. So I'll start negative 10. Negative 10, negative 9, negative 8. I should use a different color so you can see the numbers from the jadwal clearly. Negative 8, okay, negative 7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Continue over here. X, Y, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now we will subtract 17 on both sides. So my new equation will be absolute value 2x minus 3, absolute value minus 17. Because if you subtract, you'll get 0 over here. Okay? All right. So, you know what? Let me do it over here. 2x minus 3, absolute value, equals to 17. Subtract 17 on both sides. So your new equation is 2x minus 3 in absolute value minus 17 is equals to 0. It is the equation that equals to 0 that you put in the jadwal. So this is x, this is y, absolute value 2x minus 3 minus 17. All right, 2 times -10 is -20 minus 3 becomes -23. Absolute value cannot be negative. So 23 minus 17 is what? 23 minus 17 is 6. -10 with 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put your dot there. Now let's do 9. -9 times 2 is -18. -18 minus 3 is 21. So -21, absolute value cannot be negative. So 21 minus 17. So 21 minus 17 is 4. I'm noticing my numbers are going down by 2, but let me confirm. So -8 times 2 is -16, minus 3 is -19. 19 minus 17 is 2. So I notice my numbers are going down by 2. So 6, 4, 2, 0. Now let me do this one. I see if it's going to be -2 or it's going to be what. So -12 minus 3 is 15. Because absolute value cannot be negative, that's why I'm writing 15. 15 minus 17 is -2. So we continue, -4, -6. Okay, let's do this one. That will be 6 minus 3, which is 3. And 3 minus 17 becomes -14. Okay. So let's see if something changed over here because this is a big jump. I want to see here. So that will be 10, -10 minus 3, which will be 13. 13 minus 17 is -4. So I'm good. And then this will be -8 minus 3, which is 11. 11, okay. 11 minus 17, yes, -6. Okay, so now we are here. -3 times 2 is -6. So there is my mistake. -6 minus 3 is 9. -9. And 9 minus 17 should be, what is 9 minus 17? 9 minus 17 should be negative 8. Okay. Yes, so always check your work. This will be negative 4 minus 3, which will be 7, because absolute value cannot be negative. 7 minus 17 is negative 10. Okay? So the number is still going down by 1. So this is negative 2 minus 3, which gives me 5. It gives you negative 5, but absolute value cannot be negative, so that's why you write 5. 5 minus 17, that should be giving you negative 12. Then 0 minus 17 is, no. 0 minus 3 is negative 3, because this is 0. 2 times 0 is 0 minus 3, which will give you negative 3. Absolute value cannot be negative. So 3 minus 17 will give you negative 14. Okay? Then here will be 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. 1 minus 17 is negative 16. Then 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 minus 17 is negative 16 again. Okay? Then we do here for 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 minus 17 is negative 14. Okay? 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. 5 minus 17 is negative 12. Okay? This is 10 minus 3, which is 7. 7 minus 17 is negative 10. And then 6 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 8. No, is 9. 9 minus 17 is negative 8. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 minus 3 is 11. 11 minus 17 is 11 minus 17 is negative 6. We do here 8. 16 minus 3. 16 minus 3 is 13. Then notice 13 minus 17, that should be negative 4. Now we do 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 minus 3 is 15. 15 minus 17 is negative 2. Then we do 10. 20 minus 3 is 17. 17 minus 17 is 0. Then you plot your points. So 10 with 6, 9 with 4. Here is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we are skipping 2 boxes. So 8 with 2, negative 7 with 0, 6 with negative 2. Okay. 5 with negative 4. I go down 2. I keep going down 2. Which number is this now? This is 3. Negative 3. Negative 2 with negative 10 here. Okay. See? I cannot do that. You know why I cannot do that? I need 16 and 14. So I should go by 2's. See? Now, I should go by 2's and not by 1's. So, over here will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18. Did I do it correctly? 2, 4, 6. 2 times 1 is 2, 2, 6. I missed 14. 14, 18, no, 14, 16, 18, and then 20. Okay, then we do the same thing here. -2, -4, -6, -8, -10, -12, -14, -16, -18, and -20. Okay. All right, now I can plot. So this is 10. I'm only plotting the even numbers. Well, I can plot everybody now. -10 and 6. -10 and 6 will be here. Let me get a red so you can see. -10 and 6 will be here. -9 and 4 will be here. And then like that, okay? -8 and 2. -7 and 0. -6 and -2. Okay? Then -5 and -4. -3 and -8. -4. Somebody, who is this? -4 and -6. -3 and -8. -2 and -10. -1 and -12. 0 and -14. That's my y-intercept. 1 and -16. I continue. 2 and -16. Let me check if I did this correctly. No. 2 minus 3 is -1. -1. So 1 minus 17 will be -16. 4. 2 times 3 is not, 2 times 2 is 4. I agree. 4 minus 3 is 1. I agree. Okay. Something is wrong here. My graph has to make a V. You know why I have a problem here? Oh, what did I do? I have a problem here. What did I do wrong? 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 minus 17 is -16. Okay. Why do I have the same numbers? 2 and 16. Where's 2? But this is not a V. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. Why? I shouldn't have this here. Okay, let me see again. 0 minus 3 is 3. Minus 17 is -16. 2 is 14, is 4. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 minus 3 is 1. I don't know. I'll come back to this. But my point should be, I'm wondering why here I'm not making a V. If my graph is changing over here, it should make a V. And I don't know why it's not making a V over here. Even though I know I'm going like this. See, it says I should go like this. See, those are my points. But here, I have a problem here. I don't know why. Maybe my V is between 1 and 2. So maybe I should do 1.5. Okay, let's see. 1.5 times 2 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, So yes, so there's a plug here. There's a dot here. So if I do 1.5, so you see, that's what you're going to encounter. You have to know how to fix your problem. So I'm going to use 1.5. 1.5 for my x. 1.5 for my x, so that will be 3. Then 3 minus 3 will be 0, and then 0 minus 17 will be negative 17. So that's why, and then I put it over there. So there makes my v. Okay? And then I continue like that. Okay. All right, let's move on. All right. Case 1, case 2. I'll subtract. No, case 1, case 2. Do case 1, case 2. And you will get, what will you get here? You will get 3 plus absolute value 2x plus 1 equals to 3. 3 plus 2x plus 1 equals to negative 3. Subtract 3 on both sides. You'll get 2x plus 1 equals to 0. You're going to get 2x plus 1 equals to negative 6. Then minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. You're going to get 2x equals to negative 1. You're going to get 2x equals to negative 7. I don't like these numbers. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals to negative 0.5. X equals to negative 3.5. So on my x-axis, I will go by half. That's what I will do. So this will be negative 0.5, negative 1, negative 1.5, negative 2, negative 2.5, negative 3, negative 3.5, negative 4, negative 5, 4.5, negative 5. Same thing here, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. Okay. All right. Then I put my solutions, negative 3.5 and negative 0.5. Okay. All right. Then I do my jadwal. Do my jadwal. No, I don't do my jadwal. First, I make my equation equals to 0. So my equation equals to 0 will be 3 plus absolute value 2x plus 1 equals to 3. Subtract 3 on both sides. This goes away, and this also goes away. So I'm left with 2x plus 1 absolute value equals to 0. This is an easy graph. I just don't like that I'll be using decimals. That's the part I don't like about it. But it is easy. X, absolute value 2x plus 1. And this is y. Okay? So our numbers are 5. Negative 5, negative 4.5, negative 4, negative 3.5. I'm going to remove this from here. Okay, negative 3, negative 2.5, negative 2, negative 1.5, negative 1, 0.5, but negative 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. Okay? Alright. 2 times 5 is negative 10. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Plus 1 is what? Negative 9. So the answer is 9 because absolute value cannot be negative. 4.5 times 2 is 9. So negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8. And negative 8, we cannot have absolute value. Absolute value of a number cannot be negative. So negative 8 becomes 8. Okay. 4 times 2 is 8. So negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. So this should be 7. This is 7 negative plus 1 is 6 negative. So this is 6. 3 times 2 is 6, but negative plus 1 is negative 5. So this is 5. This is 5, but negative plus 1 is 4. Okay. And then here will be negative 4 plus 1, which is negative 3. So here is 3. Here will be 3 plus 1, but negative. So that will be 2. And then here you're going to have negative 2 plus 1, which is negative 1, which is 1. 2 times negative 0.5 is negative 1 plus 1, which is 0. And that's why we are here. Very good. 0 plus 1 is just 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1. 0.5 times 2 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So that is 2. So the numbers are increasing now. So they're increasing by 1. So this will be 3. This will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one will be 11. Okay, now plot negative 5 with 9. Negative 4.5 with 8. So they're going down by ones. What am I doing? Am I doing correctly? Why is my answer here? Okay, let's see if I solved this correctly. Shui, shui. Maybe I did not solve that correctly. 3 plus 2x plus 1 equals to 3. Subtract 3. No, equals to negative 3. 2x plus 1 equals to negative 6. Okay. Minus 1 minus 1 2x equals to 7, but negative. Why this one has only one solution? Okay, let's continue. I will figure out what I'm doing wrong as I'm doing my graph. Okay. 0 is with who? 0 is with 1. This one is with 2. It keeps going by 1. Ah, okay. I know where my mistake is. This cannot be your solution. Before you do case 1, case 2, make sure all your numbers are on one side. Okay? Absolute value has to remain by itself. Okay? So subtract this 3, subtract this 3. This goes away. So you're going to have absolute value 2x plus 1 equals to 0. Then now you can do case 1, case 2, because all your numbers that are not in the absolute, for you to do case 1, case 2, absolute value has to be by itself. Like this. It should not have anybody here, here, or down. Okay? It should be by itself. Then you can do case 1, case 2. And now here, why we only have case 1? Because this is 0. 0 cannot be negative. So just solve 2x plus 1 equals to 0, minus 1, minus 1. This goes away. 2x equals to negative 1. Divide by 2, divide by 2. This goes away. X equals to negative 0.5. Okay? There. That's how I know. Then you connect your dots. And here we got lucky because case 1 and the case 2 is the same as what we're going to use in the equation. So we didn't have to do too much. Okay? So remember that part. Before you do case 1, case 2, absolute value must be by itself. Okay? So subtract 6, subtract 6. X minus 1 is negative 2. So this one will have no solution. Why? Because absolute value cannot be negative. So it will not cross the x-axis. That's what we are saying. So no solution because absolute value cannot be negative. Now, you have to make it 0 because you have to draw the graph. So absolute value x minus 1 plus 6. So just because you said no solution does not mean you cannot draw the graph. You, lazim, must draw the graph. Lazim, lazim, lazim. Subtract 4, subtract 4. This goes away. Absolute value x minus 1 plus 2 equals to 0. Okay, I need space for jadwal. So I'm going to erase this. And then I'm going to write here, no solution because absolute value can't be negative. Okay, I'll draw my graph. I mean my table. Why am I calling it a graph? Draw my table. This is x, this is y. Absolute value x minus 1 plus 2. Okay, I start at -10, -9, -8, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, you might think this is a lot of work, but no, it is a pattern. You will realize that there is a pattern, so you won't have to calculate all the way. And some of these numbers, the numbers will become bigger, so you will not be able to even put them on your coordinate plane. So you should know how to figure out your pattern, okay? 10 minus 1 is -11. 11 plus 2 is 13. See? I cannot plot -10. 9 minus 1 is -10. So 10 plus 2 is 12. I cannot plot that because I don't have 13 and 12 on my y-axis. 8 -8 minus 1 is -9. Absolute of -9 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. I cannot plot that. So I think I'll start here. -7 minus 1 is -8. 8 plus 2 is 10. So my graph starts at -7. Okay? So -7 will be 2, 4, 6, 7, and 10. So that's my first point. Okay? Then this will be 6 negatives. That will be 7 plus 2, which is 9. That will be 6 plus 2, which is 8. I'm noticing my numbers are going down by 1. So this will be 7, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3. This will be 2. And this will be 0. Let me see. No, it's going down by 1. So if you're going, this will be 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 minus 1 is 1. 1. 1 plus 2, that will be 3. So my graph is changing over here. My graph is changing somewhere here. Okay? See? That's how I know. And then I do the 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, so it's increasing by 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. Yes. Okay, now I continue plotting. So -6 is with 9. So it's going down like this. 0 is with 3. So 1 is with 2. And then it changes over there like that. It keeps going like this. Okay? And there. And then I join my dots, my points with the mascara. Please use the mascara. Make sure you use a mascara. I don't like this line. Connect your points. Okay? That's how you do it. You realize I only calculated a few things, and then I notice my pattern, and then I use my pattern, then I check somewhere in the middle. Once I start seeing my number is changing, then I just do a little bit, then I continue with my pattern. Okay? All right. Let us do this one. Subtract 7. Subtract 7. This goes away. So you have absolute value 3x minus 1 equals to 0. So this will have one solution. So then we don't have to do case 1, case 2. So this will be 3x minus 1 equals to 0 plus 1 will be 3x equals to 1 to 1 divide by 3 divide by 3. I don't like this because it's a fraction. Okay, so my solution is 1/3. So I should go with 1/3 on x. So 1/3, my solution will be here. So 1/3, 2/3, then 1. 1 and 1/3. See? Or use friends of 3. Yes, use friends of 3. So start with 3, -3 like that. So this will be 3, but we need our answer to be 1/3. But if I start with 3, where will my answer be? My answer will be closer here. I have to go by 1/3. This is x, this is y. Okay, do 1/3. After you do 1/3, so on your jadwal, I'm going to put here x, you're going to put here y. This 1/3, once you put it over there, is fine. After that, no, I cannot say that. Lazim I label 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7/3, 8/3, 9/3. Now 9/3 is what we are calling 3. 10/3. Same thing here. This is 0, -1/3, -2/3, -3/3, -4/3, -5/3, -6/3, -7/3, -8/3, -9/3, -10/3. Okay, so then I am going to put here this equation because it's also equal to 0. So that 3, this will be 3x minus 1. Okay, so then I'm only going to use the numbers that are friends of 3. The other ones will give me decimals. So I'm going to use -9/3, -6/3, -3/3, -1/3, 0, 1/3, 1/3, 3/3, 6/3, and 9/3. Because those are the friends of 3. The other ones will give me a decimal. Okay, so -9/3 times 3, this goes away. I will remain with -9. -9 minus 1 is -10. -10 cannot be absolute value, so the answer here is 10. Okay, so I will get -6 minus 1, which is -7. So this is 7. I will get negative 3 minus 1, which is negative 3 minus 1, which is negative 4. So this should be 4. So they're going down by 3s. I will get here negative 3. No, I'll get negative 1. I'll not get negative 3. How do I know? So I have here negative 1 over 3 times 3. That gives me negative 1. Negative 1 minus 1 is 0. So that should be 0, which I have over... No, that is negative 2. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. So this should be 2. Did I do this correctly? Okay, negative 3. That is 1. Negative 3 over 3 times 3. This goes away. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. I cannot have absolute value being negative. Okay. And then this goes with this. I'm left with negative 1. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. And I cannot have. Okay. All right, let's continue. We already said we have one solution. So this cannot be 0. 0 should be here. Okay. All right. So 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So this should be 1. And then this 3 divided 3 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So this is 0. So this is 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So this is 2. This is 2. 6 minus 1 is 5. This is 3. 9 minus 1 is 8. Okay, now plot your graph. 9/3 is with 10, which is here, because you're going by ones. And then negative 6/3 is with 7. So 3 from up there. Then negative 3 is with 4. Somewhere there. And you notice 3 right, 3 down. 3 right, 3 down. 3 right, 3 down. See? There. And then your graph is changing here. So instead going there. 3 is with 2. Okay. 6 3 is with 5. 2 4 5. And then you follow 3 3 3 3. Okay. And there is your graph. You draw it like this. And then you go like that. Okay. And you book, that's your answer. Okay. All right, let's do this one. We subtract 5 on both sides. Absolute value x plus 2. This is 12. No, 8. Okay. Then you have case 1, case 2. Absolute value equals to positive 8. Absolute value equals to negative 8. Then you solve it. X plus 2 equals to 8. X plus 2 equals to negative 8. Then you subtract 2. Subtract 2. X equals to 6. x equals to negative 10. Okay? So here, x equals to negative 10, and x equals to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, which is 4 from here. This is x, this is 0, this is y. Then now, make this equal to 0 by subtracting 13 on both sides. So you will have x plus 2 absolute value plus 5 equals to 13. Subtract 13 on both sides. X plus 2 subtract 8 equals to 0. Okay? Then you draw your jadwal. And you have to start at negative 10 because there, your solution. So your x number is determined by the axis, x-axis. Okay, so here you have absolute x plus 2 minus 8. So negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Negative 6 is already with 0 because it is a solution. I mean, 6 is already with 0 because it's a solution. Negative 10 is also with 0, okay, because it's a solution. So your graph might start there, okay? So let's do negative 9. Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7, so 7 minus 8 is negative 1. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6, so 6 minus 8 is negative 2. I'm noticing my numbers are going down by 1s, so negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. So let me check. Negative 3 plus 2 is 1. Yes, 1 minus 8 is negative 7. I continue. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0, so this will be negative 8. Negative 9. Okay, now I do 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Okay, so there. Because 1 will be negative 1 plus 2. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. And 1 minus 8 is 7, not 9. So my graph is changing over here. Okay, so 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 minus 8 is the 6, but negative. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. So it continues. So this will become negative 4. Now here my graph is increasing. Okay. Negative 4. So this will be negative 3. Let me check. Negative 3 plus 2 is 1. Sorry, 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 minus 8 is negative 3. Very good. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 7 minus 8 is negative 1. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. 10. So I have 10. X, Y, 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. Okay? So I plot my points. -9 with -1. -8 with -2. So I go by ones. 0 is with -6. Okay. Am I plotting correctly? -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. Then I start going like this. Okay. Okay. There you go. And then with your ruler, you join your dots. Okay. Just like that. Very good. Okay, this part is easy. There is nothing difficult in math. Discriminant, find the value of your discriminant, part 1. Then describe the number and type of roots for the equation. You should have 2 answers. Okay, so discriminant is given by, please write the word discriminant. Discriminant. Okay, and you get that by doing b squared minus 4 times a times c. Remember in class we agreed, put these people in brackets. Okay, who is our b? -8. You square that. -4, who is your a? 1. Who is your c? 16. Remember, a is this Rackham here. That is a. This Rackham here is b. This Rackham here is c. 64 minus 64 is 0. Okay? So, your discriminant is equal to 0. So you have one real rational root. Describe the number and the type. Ooh. Describe the number and the type. So you should have 3 answers. Number of roots, number of roots, 1. Type of roots, real rational. Real rational root. Okay? Answer 1, answer 2, answer 3. You should have 3 answers. Put them in a box. Remember your kanun. When discriminant is greater than 0, what is your answer? 2 real rational root if the discriminant is a perfect square. If the discriminant is a perfect square, perfect square. If the discriminant is a perfect square and greater than 0, this is your answer. If the discriminant is not a perfect square, but it is greater than 0, you have two real irrational roots. Two real, but but your roots are not rational, they are irrational. If your discriminant is equals to 0, then you have one real rational root. Okay? If your discriminant is less than 0, so remember this has the discriminant has 3 canons. Actually 4. Let's not call them 3 because here there are 2. Now, if your discriminant is less than 0, then you have 2 complex roots. Okay? These 4 canons are very important. If you forget them, you will not get the correct answer. All right, let's find our discriminant. So discriminant. This will be b squared minus 4ac negative 11 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 26, 121, negative 4 times negative 26, 104, so that is positive 104. That should be 225. 225 is already greater than 0. So now I'm going to do here. 225 is greater than 0. Now check if 225 is a perfect square. So I'm going to do check if 225 is a perfect square. I should know my timetables, so I should be able to say yes. But if you don't know, you have to do square root of 225. And I got 15, so I am correct. 15 times 15, same number. 15 and 15 are same numbers. If I multiply, I get to 25, so I'm good. So then I am going to say 2 real rational roots because my discriminant is a perfect square greater than 0. Okay? A is 3, B is 2, C is 0. Discriminant equals to B bracket squared minus what? 4AC. This is 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 0 makes that 0. So this is 4. This is my discriminant. I box my answer. Now check if my discriminant is discriminant is perfect square. So I do square root of 4 and I get 2. So I know it is a perfect square. I know 4 is a square number. So I'm going to say 2 real rational roots because my discriminant is a perfect square greater than 0. Okay? Hey, there's a lot remaining. Okay? All right. Same thing you do here. A is 20. B is 7. C is -3. Discriminant, you're going to do B squared minus 4 darb A darb C. B is 7 squared, giving me 49. This is -4 times 20 times -3. That is 12 positive. So that will be plus 240. Okay? And what is 49 plus 240? 49 plus 240 is 289. So here is my first answer. Then I check if 289 is a perfect square, which should be a perfect square because of 17. So it is a perfect square. So I'm going to say 2 real rational roots because my discriminant is a perfect square greater than 0. A is 5, B is 0, C is -6. Discriminant equals to B squared minus 4 times A times C. 0 squared minus 4 times 5 times 6. 0 plus 0 plus what? 120. Because this is 20 negative, so 1 positive 120. So 120 is my discriminant. Then I'm going to check if it is a perfect square. Square root of 120. 12 is not a perfect square, so I already know that. I know my number values. So this will give you 2 square root of 30, so not a perfect square, not a perfect square. And if you're not a perfect square, you're irrational. So 2 real irrational roots. Okay? All right. We move on. A is 1, B is 0, C is -6. Discriminant B squared minus 4AC. 0 squared, -4 times 1 times -6. 0 plus 24, because this is positive. Discriminant is 24. You box your answer. 24 is not a perfect square. You should know that. So it is irrational. So not perfect square. So you're going to write here 2 real irrational roots because my discriminant is greater than 0, but it is not a perfect square. Why I didn't give reason here? Because my discriminant is greater than 0, but not a perfect square. Explain, explain, explain. Okay? All right. A is 1, B is 8, C is 13. Do discriminant. You're going to get B squared minus 4AC. B squared is 8 squared. Negative 4 times 1 times 13 is negative 52. And here you have 64. 64 minus 52 is 12. And 12 is not a perfect square. So here is your answer for discriminant. Then you write here 12 is not a perfect square. So I will have 2 real irrational roots because my discriminant is greater than 0, but not a perfect square. This looks like R. This should be 12. Write clearly. Write clearly. A is 5, B is -1, C is -1. Discriminant equals to B squared minus 4AC, -1 squared, -4 times 5 times -1. That becomes positive 20. And then this is 1. And that is 21. And you box your answer. 21 is not a perfect square. I will have 2 real irrational roots because my discriminant is greater than 0, but not a perfect square. A is 1, B is -2, C is -17. Discriminant b squared 4ac negative 2 squared, that gives me 4. Negative 4 times 1 times negative 17 gives me positive 4 times 17, 68. That should give me 72. Okay. Box your answer. 72 is not a perfect square. So I will have 2 real irrational because the discriminant is greater than 0, but not a perfect square. Okay. A is 1, B is 0, C is 49. This is already complex. So discriminant zero squared, negative 4 times 1 times 49. We have 0 minus 49 times 4. 49 times 4 is 196. So negative 196. So this is negative 196. That's your discriminant. And you're going to say complex roots, complex 2, because the question says you want a number. So 2 complex roots because my discriminant is negative. Or my discriminant is less than 0. Okay. A is 1, B is negative 1, C is 1. Discriminant equals to B squared minus 4AC, negative 1 squared, negative 4 times 1 times 1. This is 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. Box your answer. 2 complex roots because my discriminant is less than 0. Because my discriminant is less than 0. Add 2 on both sides. 2x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals to 0. A is 2, B is negative 3, C is 2. Discriminant B squared minus 4AC, negative 3 squared equals to 9. Negative 4 times 2 times 2 is minus 16. 9 minus 16, that should be negative 7. Box your answer. 2 complex roots because my discriminant is less than 0. That's the end of our EOT. Like I've told you, there are very important things you have to remember. And you cannot give up on yourself. You have noticed how I'm solving. As I'm solving, I am checking. I am rechecking. That's what I want to see you do. Read carefully. Check your work. Recheck. Recheck more than 4 times just to make sure you're doing the right thing. Especially probability, especially graphing, all your questions. Recheck more than 1 time. And believe in yourself. You have been in class the whole semester and we have worked so hard. So there should be no reason why you have anxiety going to the exam. Okay? No reason whatsoever. My friends, read. Read more than 1 time. Show your work. Show, check. Don't just rely on that calculator. Recheck and check again. Okay? Good luck.